Hello, everyone. So, here in our lovely little program, we have a picture of me. We have a picture of me and my bio next to it. As you can see in the picture, blemishes have been fixed, and the bio says I've done some pretty great things, right? There it is. Now you know me. Well, not really. But this is exactly how social media is shaping the way we view other people and ourselves. It is putting someone out there on a stage and making you see them as the incomplete version of themselves that they present. The same way we view celebrities. We rarely meet someone anymore without having A, already heard about them, or B, somehow ran into their Facebook or Instagram before. So before getting to know you, people have information they can associate with your name. Like my little bio here, they know you. We all have a profile then, in a sense. The pressure of perfection this creates can lead us to put our accomplishments on a pedestal, forgetting that no matter how great, they're just one aspect of who we are. I know I forgot. So I've moved around a lot, like it says in my little bio, and moving from the biggest city in Mexico to a suburb in Ohio, and this is flipped, the Mexico City is on the right, suburb in Ohio is over there. Anyways, moving from there was definitely a culture shock, and it took me a while to understand how the system worked and what the perfect kid's profile looked like there. So I wanted to work and make it happen for me. I put tremendous pressure on myself to be good enough like my classmates. As we got older, they were involved, happy, straight-A students with endless accomplishments. At least that is how they presented themselves. And I didn't want to fall behind. The last day of my sophomore year, an announcement came over the speakers. I had won elections. My reaction? I am the first Latina in history to be class president here at Anderson. I immediately posted a picture on Instagram announcing my accomplishment. I got a decent amount of likes. That was my I'm on top of the world moment. I had built my identity around this image. People in the community would recognize me. President, academic awards, varsity sports, church, runs, journalism works, 7 words. On the path to perfection, I rarely questioned whether I was doing these things because I wanted to or just for my image in that community. Then the game changer. We had to move again, this time to Portland, Oregon. And I was pretty excited at first because Portland is beautiful. But when school started, I realized that I had grown so attached to this public image that I didn't know who I was without it. Stripped off of everything I thought was me, I was empty. I was no one. I watched from the outside a new system of the same expectations of perfection, except for this time, I couldn't meet them. I felt like a failure. I started showing symptoms of temporary depression, but I kept my public image looking great. Social media allows us to do this. We get to present ourselves as we want to be. We get to edit, delete, retouch to get it just right. But we can't be edited like that as individuals in reality. I had to live up to the identity I had created, which didn't really include sadness. But everybody online seemed to be happy, so I should be too. I tried to be happy, but it's not always a choice. My friends and followers didn't know that I was sinking. Only the tip of the iceberg could be seen, a dangerous misperception. I missed my close friends the most because they had valued me outside external measures of character. I met other people going through a similar experience and thought, what if there was a place where we could somehow meet people and feel more connected to our new environment? And that's how, with the support of counselors, I was able to start Lincoln's new student club. And meeting people going through the same thing in person really helped me to feel at home. My favorite meeting was actually when we talked about culture shock and social media, and that's where I met Radwa from Egypt and Iknur from Turkey, and we became great friends. We could talk about who we were, rather than what we had accomplished, and we learned to value ourselves in that way. So that was great, but unfortunately, that's not how the story ends for everyone. You may have heard of Madison Holleran, a freshman at the University of Pennsylvania, track star, soccer star, bright student, and wonderful friend. Her Instagram consisted of pictures that seemed to meet everyone's expectations of her, including her own. Of course, she was loving college, and she was loving running, everything about it. But behind the screens, the pressure of perfection was taking its toll on her. Holiday lights in the city with a gorgeous filter. This is the picture she posted just an hour before taking her own life. Madison Holleran is one of 1,100 college freshmen who commit suicide on campus every year. Now, you may be sitting there asking yourself, how could someone so beautiful, someone who seems so put together, be unhappy? It's an illogical question, though. It's like thinking that the hard drive of a computer can't malfunction because there's not a scratch we can see on the screen. And that is how we accept the misperception online that others aren't also struggling. I was reading an article about this on the New York Times, and at Cornell University, when students come to the director of counseling and psychology, and they tell him, well, everybody around me looks happy. He tells them, I walk around campus and I see that person has an eating disorder. That person just went to the hospital. That person just went on antidepressants. Because he is a therapist, he knows that no one is as happy or as grown up as they seem on the outside. But we're not therapists, we're teenagers. And we are the most susceptible to anxiety and depression. Why is that? Social media increases the risk. The social comparison theory in psychology states that we try to measure our worth based on how we stack up against others. Hundreds of years ago, we sent letters to each other in which we included only details of the self we wanted reflected. 50 years ago, we did the same thing, but over the phone. With social media, only one thing is different: the amount of time we spend consuming each other's edited lives. Because smartphones are so available, the comparisons have gone from every now and then to pretty much 24/7. And according to a study by the Kaiser Family Foundation, we spend about 11 hours a day consuming media. This includes surfing the web, social networking, video games, music, TV. That's more time than we sleep on average. We sleep an average of 7 hours a night. So if we do the math, that's about 2,382 hours out of 8,760. That's 43% of a year. If we continue at this rate, I can't imagine where we'll end up in the future. Actually, I can't imagine. To follow up on that, a study by the University of Glasgow in the UK found that indeed, teenagers who spent more time on social media and were more invested in it showed lower self-esteem, worse sleeping quality, more instances of anxiety and depression when compared to their peers who spent less time or were less involved with their social media. So we can see a clear link between all of these things, and the bottom line is that we are hurting ourselves. The line between the real world and the virtual world is almost non-existent for us. We are addicted to these tiny devices in which we hold a world that is ideal, but it's not real. And like a snowball, our addiction to them leads to our addiction to the image of ourselves on there, how we compare against others, an addiction to clicking refresh to say what's new online while missing real time happening before our eyes, including sleeping time. There goes our sanity. That's why I'm calling for a conversation, a time to talk, to reconsider how we use these powerful tools we have created. Can we find our power without them too? Can we reduce our consumption? Can we take a step back from comparisons? These can be daunting questions. But more than anything, how do we define ourselves without the environment that we've created ourselves to fit into? It's worth a thought. We can't compare our real lives to incomplete pictures online because the ups and downs that you don't post, they matter. And the person behind the screens, you matter too. We're just people, and it's okay not to post on Instagram every week. To post a picture when you miss old friends, even if it's not Throwback Thursday. It's okay to be unsure about the future. It's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to tell someone if you're not okay. As for me, I am not the celebrity you see on stage. I am the person backstage where I wrestle my mind and fight my own battles, but something within allows me to get up here and give my speech, not to win against anyone, but to go on. I am and always will be someone, regardless of my image, accomplishments, and failures. Thank you.